Good morning, children. So in the last class we have started with phrasal verbs, and in last class we have seen the phrasal verbs of break. Okay, and I hope that all of you have copied down all the phrasal verbs with its meaning and also its example. Okay, so if the meaning and the example is there only, you will have an idea about what is the meaning and in what context we can use those phrasal verbs. Okay. So now today we are moving on to the next set of phrasal verbs, that is with bring. Okay. So first one with bring, we will see bring about. So bring about. So by the end of all these phrasal verbs, you will be expert in filling the blanks with the correct phrasal verbs and use it in your one way. This is also useful when we are writing your essay or letter. You can use these phrasal verbs that will increase the quality of the language that you are using in your composition. Understood? So that in such a way you can improve the examiners also. If you are using phrasal verbs, they will understand that the student is well versed in the language. So in such a way also you will be benefited by learning these phrasal verbs. So be serious with these phrasal verbs, children. Okay. So bring about means cause to happen. Cause. Okay, bring about cause to happen. His dishonesty brought about his ruin. His dishonesty brought about his ruin. His destruction was because of the dishonesty that he has shown. Okay, so that is one meaning of bring about, and another meaning is also there. Okay, for this one more example I will give you. The government will bring about changes in the electoral system. The government will bring about changes in the electoral system. Okay, so bring about, cause to happen, the government will bring about changes will happen in the electoral system. Okay. Okay, another meaning is change the direction. Okay. So this is the first meaning, example of the first one. Okay, sorry, to change the direction. Direction or movement. Understood? The second meaning is change the direction or movement. And he brought the boat about and headed for safety. He brought the boat about and headed for safety. So they were in a dangerous situation in the sea, and because of the timely interference of the crew member, brought the boat about and headed for safety. Okay, so they were safe landed. So change the direction or the movement. So to change the direction, by changing the direction, they reach safely. Understood? So one meaning is cause to happen. Second meaning is change the direction or the movement. So that is the meaning of bring about. Okay, and the second one is bring in. Bring in. The meaning is yield. Okay. Okay. Yield means to earn something. That is the meaning of bring. Okay, and the example is my freelance work brings me in 10,000 rupees a month. My freelance work brings in 3,000 rupees a month. Okay, he can earn. I freelance work, the work which I am doing as a freelance journalist or a photographer, whatever it is, that brings in 3,000 rupees a month. Okay, and another meaning of bring in is harvest. Okay, gather or harvest. So first one, or harvest. The example, weather forecast assure us of a few more days of fine weather in which to bring in the harvest. So to gather the harvest, to collect it. Okay, weather forecast assures us of a few more days of fine weather to gather the harvest. Okay, fine weather in which to bring in. To bring in means to gather. Okay, bring in the harvest. Okay, so harvesting season, if the weather is fine only, they can gather the harvest. Otherwise, it's not possible for them to do it. That's why weather forecast assures us of a few more days of fine weather in which to bring in. That means to gather the harvest. Okay. Okay, so those are the two meanings of bring in, and yes, other meanings are not much important. Okay, next phrasal verb is bring on. Okay, so bring about, cause to happen or change the direction of the movement. His dishonesty brought about his ruin, and second one is the meaning change the direction. He brought the boat about and headed for safety. And next phrasal verb is bring in. Means yield. My freelance work brings in. That means earns me 3,000 rupees a month, or yield. Second one, gather. With weather forecast assures of a few more days of fine weather in which to bring in the harvest. So these are the two phrasal verbs, bring about and bring in. Okay, next examples of bring. Okay, next one is bring on. Okay, bring on is the next one. Lead, result in or cause something that leads to result. That is the next phrasal verb, bring on. Okay, so bring on. Bring on, the meaning is result in or cause something. Okay. on, result in, or cause, cause something. Bonus weight. Okay, cause something. This kind of weather often brings on hay fever. For example, right now, the wind which is blowing heavily, that can be the cause of different kinds of diseases. Okay, usually old people used to say that this kind of wind will bring different contagious diseases. Okay, this kind of weather often brings this kind of weather often brings on hay fever. Is a kind of fever. Okay, named due to like tomato fever and different types of fever. Same way, it's hay fever. Okay, this kind of weather often brings on hay fever. He was out in the rain all day and this brought on a bad cold. This brought on means this resulted in a bad cold. Okay, so that is the meaning of bring on. And yes, another meaning is also there. Bring on means help to develop or improve. So this is the first meaning. Help to develop or improve. Improve. Okay. And its example is the coach brought on. The coach brought on a few promising young persons, a few promising young persons in the reserve team. Okay, so the second meaning of bring on is help to develop or improve, and the example, the coach brought on, past form we have used, the coach brought on a few promising young persons in the reserve team. Cause to grow rapidly. Okay, the same meaning, almost the same. Cause to grow rapidly. Yeah, not much difference. Okay. So the example is the hot weather is bringing the wheat on nicely. The hot weather is bringing the wheat on nicely. So this climate or this, bringing the wheat on nicely. So this climate is favorable for the growth of wheat in a good way. Okay. So these are the three meanings that we can have for the phrasal verb bring on. First one, resulting. This kind of weather often brings on hay fever. Okay, so that will result because this particular weather which we are having now, that brings on hay fever. That will result in hay fever. And second meaning is help to develop or improve. The coach brought on a few promising young persons in the reserve team. And third meaning is cause to grow rapidly. The hot weather is bringing the wheat on nicely. Okay, and these three meanings are there for bring on. And next comes is the next phrasal verb, that is bring out. Okay, so bring out means publish. bring out means publish. Okay, and example is the publisher is bringing out a revised edition of this book. The publisher is bringing out a new edition of this book. Okay, so bringing out means publishing. The publisher is publishing out a new edition of this book. That is the first meaning of the phrasal verb bring out. And next meaning is yes, cause something to open. Cause something to open. Sorry. Something to open, or in the sense means appear. Okay. The hot weather has brought out all the blossoms on the fruit trees. The hot weather has brought out all the blossoms in the fruit trees. Brought out means all the buds opened, okay, or it blossomed. The hot weather has brought out all the blossoms of the fruit trees. So that is next meaning, cause something to open. If buds are there, because of this hot weather, all those buds were opened and it appears as a flower. Okay, cause something to open. And next one, yeah, publish something already we have written. And another meaning, show something clearly, reveal. Okay, bring out means reveal. Please do write all the meanings to reveal. Okay, and example for that. Yes, the enlargement has brought out the details in the photograph. Okay, has brought out. Enlargement has brought out the details in the photograph. You know that in your mobile, if you zoom, you can clearly see the minute things also, minute mistakes which happen in the picture. The same way, the size has been enlarged, the enlargement has brought out the details in the photograph to reveal, that was brought out. Okay. Yes, one more example for reveal. The meaning of the poem was brought out by the teacher. The meaning, third one, reveal. Okay, the meaning of the poem was brought out by the teacher. Okay, so here also the meaning is same, that means reveal. Okay, so bring out, bring on has got three meanings. First one, result, then cause something. Result in or cause something. Second one is help to develop or improve, and third one is cause to grow rapidly. Same way, bring out also has got three meanings. First one is publish. The publisher is bringing out a new edition of this book. Bringing out, that means publish. Okay, and the second one is cause something to open. The hot weather has brought out all the blossoms of the fruit trees. Because of the hot weather, all the buds have blossomed. Okay, and third meaning is to reveal. The enlargement of the zooming. The enlargement has brought out the details of the photograph, and another example for that is the meaning of the poem was brought out by the teacher. Okay, so publish, cause something to open, and reveal. Okay, so these are the three meanings of the phrasal verb bring out. Okay, and next comes is the phrasal verb. Yes, bring round. Bring round. Yeah, that is not, only one meaning is there. Okay, bring round. To regain consciousness. Yes, bring round, cause somebody to regain consciousness after fainting. Okay, so that is the meaning of bring round. Okay, if she faints again, bring her round with smelling salts. Bring round, cause somebody to regain consciousness. Cause somebody to regain consciousness. Okay, and 6 a.m. well-dressed women fainted in the blazing heat but were quickly brought down by the doctor. Okay, so smaller one is, if she faints again, bring her round with smelling salts. If she faints again, bring her round with smelling salts. Maybe something that we use to regain consciousness. Okay, so bring round, cause somebody to regain consciousness. If she faints again, bring her round. Okay, to regain consciousness with smelling salts. Okay, so that's the meaning of bring round. Next one, bring round two. Another meaning is there, bring round two when two if we add up along with this. Bring round is to regain consciousness. Bring round two, to persuade. Okay. Okay, to convince or to persuade. At last I brought him round to my way of thinking. At last I brought him round to my way of thinking. Okay, I persuaded him or I convinced him and made him to come to my own way. Okay. He keeps trying to bring the conversation round to politics. He brought the discussion, other examples also. So this one is enough. Bring round is not much a very important phrasal verb. So first, bring round to persuade or convince. Okay, at last I brought him round to my way of thinking. Okay, next one, bring up. Bring up is a very important one because it is a part of convenience. Okay. So, bring round is cause somebody to regain consciousness, and bring round to is to persuade or to convince. Okay, so bring up. What is the meaning of bring up? Means to raise a discussion. Okay, so normal bring up. Okay, raise a discussion. Yeah, first we will write that. It was brought up for the discussion. Yes, a particular point was there that was brought up for the discussion, praise for discussion. The matter was brought up in the council. The matter was council. Okay, so for discussion, it was to raise a discussion, means the matter was brought up in the council. So particular thing was there which they wanted to discuss in the council. So that was brought up, raised for discussion. Okay, and another meaning. Yeah, to educate. Okay, this is the first meaning. Second one, to raise and educate. Okay, I think we'll try to work together. Okay, bring up means not only to educate, to raise for a good living. Okay, to raise and educate. And the example is the rich widow adopted 2 children and brought them up. The rich widow adopted 2 children and brought them up. He looked after them and also educated them. Okay, and a third meaning is there for bring up. That means to call attention to something. Okay, to call attention. So third one, to call attention. I bring the story up now only to compare my experience with that of some unhappy fellow on. Okay, and another example, that is a lengthy one. These are the matters you can bring up in the next meeting. Yeah. These are the matters, almost the same as first one. Okay, these are the matters that you can bring up in the next meeting. Yeah, only slight change. To call attention, to pay attention to, to raise a discussion is almost having the same meaning. The matter was brought out in the council for discussion. These are the matters that you can bring up in the next meeting to pay attention for, to give attention for others. Okay, so that they will have their own viewpoints that will be discussed in that meeting. Okay, so these are the meanings. Bring up has got 3 meanings, and 1 and 3 is almost not much difference. Bring around, cause somebody to regain consciousness. Bring around 2 means to persuade, and bring up means to raise. The matter was raised up in the council for discussion. And second one is to raise and educate. The rich widow adopted 2 children and brought them up. That is the second meaning of bring up. And third meaning is to pay attention or to call attention. These are the matters that you can bring up in the next meeting. Okay, so these are some of the phrasal verbs of bring. Okay, and so we have almost 6 to 7 phrasal verbs that were with bring. Okay, so today only, so every day we will have, I hope that each day we will have a single phrasal verb. Then it will be easy for you to study the things and also to remember the things well. Okay, so first day we have done of break, and second day, today this is over with bring. Okay, and next day we will go with call. Okay children, so thank you.